Okay, good morning and welcome to Yeshiva YouTube, just Daf It. Today's Daf is Nedarim, Daf It, number 29. We have an amazing share for you today. We're going to be talking about Kedushas Aguf, Kedushas Damim, marrying a woman, Mikudeshas to a woman. Is there any difference? I'll tell you more in Emet Ben Sion how that plays out from our Sugya. Let's start from the bottom of Chav Chesem with Beis. The Gemara is discussing the second line of the previous Mishnah. Right, if you say that these trees will be a korban, meaning it'll have kedusha of a korban. Ad sheksasu. Kedusha of a korban means that I have to sell the trees and buy with the money a korban. So the Gemara asks the olam, is it kadosh forever? Right? Amar bar pada, padan chojos v'kodosh, padan chojos v'kodosh, ad sheksasu. Nixasu padan pamachas v'dayo. He says, right, we're trying to understand the end of the Mishnah. The end of the Mishnah says, Ein lahem pidyon. They don't have pidyon. What does that mean, Ein lahem pidyon? According to Bar Pada, it means that until the trees are cut down, you can redeem them. It doesn't mean you can't redeem them. You could redeem them. But the second after you redeem it, it goes back to have Kedusha, because that was your statement. They're Kadosh to Achiyeksu. So you could redeem it. What it means, Ein lahem pidyon, I mean, it's not effective, your pidyon, because, yes, you could be podeh, and the money will have Kedusha of a korban. You have to use it to buy a korban, but then it has kedusha again, and you're poded again. Every money that you used to be poded has kedusha korban. And lahem pidyon, that doesn't, pidyon normally means that you exchange, right? The kedusha goes on to the money, and the davar becomes chul, and the trees become chul. In this case, it doesn't work like that. However, once they're cut down, so then you're poded at one time, then it does transfer the kedusha from the trees to the money. The Ula argues on Bar Pada and says, once they're cut down, you don't have to be poded them. So that's the meaning of the Mishnah. Ela and Pidyon, meaning after they're cut down, they lose their Kedusha. While they were still remaining standing, they were attached to the ground, they had Kedusha stomach. After they're cut down, they lose their Kedusha. You don't even have to redeem. That's Ela and Pidyon. You don't have to redeem it. That's the Mishnah means according to Ula, who we paskin likes. The word is Amalei Rav Hamnun on the top of Chavter and Aleph. Kedusha ben Heichan Halcha. How does Kedusha just leave? It gets cut down. Fine. It says I have Kedusha until it's cut down. But just once it's cut down, where does the Kedusha go? I can take Kedusha and constrict it to a certain amount of time, and then once the time over, when it becomes cut down, the Kedusha miraculously goes away. Uma'ilu, comparatively, Amar Isha, Yomad Ishti. You say to a woman, today you're my wife, today I'm married to you. Right? And tomorrow, you're not my wife. Minafka below get. Does the marriage dissolve by itself? No, you have to give her a get. Similarly, over here, you have to be poded. Amalei Rava answers back. Right? A woman being married to you, that Ishto Kagufo, right? Her body is kadosh to you. We'll talk more about this, marriage versus kedusha. But according to the Gemara, at this point, understands kedusha is aguf by marriage. Kedusha is dam and paka b'kti. However, when it comes to kedusha of money over here, the trees, you're not going to offer trees as a korban. The trees are kadosh for their monetary value. With their monetary value, used to bring a korban. Kedusha damim could in fact lose their kedusha automatically, right? Without any recompense for hektish. Kedusha zaguf lo paka b'kti. Kedusha zaguf, when it comes to marrying a woman, you have to give her a get. It doesn't automatically dissolve. I'm like Abaye. Kedusha zaguf lo paka b'kti. Is it really true that something which is kadosh, the goof, the actual body, the woman's body is kadosh, and we'll see an animal that's an actual korban as kedusha zaguf, that lo paka b'kti, it doesn't dissolve automatically. Atanya, bright. Sharza ola kol shaloshim yom. You make the following statement. You say that this bull should be an olah for 30 days. The kedusha of an olah for 30 days. If you're makar of it during those 30 days, you're makar of it as an olah. La'achar shaloshim yom. And after 30 days, shlamim, it has kedusha. It changes the kedusha from an olah to a korban shlamim. If you makar of it 30 days later, 31st day, it would be offered as a shlamim. Kol shaloshim yom olah. La'achar shaloshim yom shlamim. That's the halacha. Takes effect. Amai kedusha gufnin. Here we're talking about kedusha guf. The animal itself has kedusha of a korban. You don't have to sell the animal and buy a korban. You're makar of that korban itself. Upaka bikdi. Nonetheless, it dissolves, right? It dissolves from kedusha's ola, kedusha shlamim. So the Gemara answers, "Hachamay askin and Amar ledami." He wasn't actually saying this animal now is kadosh and ola. It's kadosh for the damim, the money of an ola. This animal, I don't want to be makar this actual animal. It means that if you want to be makar during the first 30 days, you have to sell it and buy an ola. So it's kadosh damim, not kadosh guf. And that's why it dissolves automatically. If that's really true, I'm a seifa. Say the end of the brisa. If the person states after 30 days it's an ola, he phrases it a little differently. And now, right, it's a shlamim. I mean, the first 30 days is a shlamim, and then afterwards an ola. Right? So in that case, it works also. If you'll say the first case is talking about what? Is talking about, or at least one of the cases is talking about Kedushas Guf. I want to talk about Kedushas Damim. Hainu, the top of Chaftan Amid Beis, Hainu the Itzrich Latana the Mistake Tarti. Really, they're similar cases, right? The first case is talking about originally it's an Ola, then it comes a Shlamim. The second case is originally a Shlamim, becomes an Ola. Why do you have to repeat the same thing, right? It must be one case talking about Kedushas Damim, one case talking about Kedushas Guf. And nonetheless, in both cases, even by Kedushas Guf, it's Paka B'chdi, right? The Kedusha of the Ola or the Shlamim dissolves. The Sagda Chamina, Kedusha Guf lo Paka B'chdi. Kedusha Damim Paka B'chdi, because then there's a Chiddush to tell me, because I would have said, yes, Kedusha Damim, which is a less severe Kedusha, right? You're only makdish the value, not the actual, right? The Shalo and Bershusa, the value of it, not the actual Chayfetz itself, the actual animal itself. So, there, by Kedush Damim, it could dissolve automatically. However, by Kedush, it wouldn't dissolve automatically. Kamash Malan, both statements of the Brisa tell you even Kedush Zaguf is Paka B'chti. That's why it says both. If you'll say both cases are talking about Kedush Damim, why do you have to tell me two cases? Hashka yesh lomar midusha chamura lechidusha kala pakam midusha kala kedusha chamura tzrich lememar. The first case is talking about originally it's an ola and then it's a shlamim. That's a bigger chiddush, right? To say that it dissolves that kedusha ola is more kedusha than kedusha shlamim. Kedusha ola, you're marking the entire thing to Hakadosh Baruch Hu. Kedusha shlamim, part of it goes to Hakadosh Baruch Hu, is eaten on the korban, and part of it is eaten by the kohen, and part of it is even eaten by the bailim. So it's less kedusha. So if the Reish is talking about originally it's kedusha as ola and then it goes to kedusha shlamim, right? And both cases are on kedusha damim, it's paka. To go to lesser kedusha, certainly if they machper go to a higher kedusha, we would say it would work. So why do you have to tell me that? So it must be the Gemara's conclusion is the Bryce has to be talking in one case kedusha saguf, and one case kedusha damim. This really is the maskana of the Gemara. The Bryce is talking about one case Kedusha Zaguf, one Kedusha Damim. Nonetheless, we see Kedusha Zaguf is Paka B'chti. So the Gemara doesn't discuss the follow-up from this. If this is true, so then what do you say about a woman, right? If Kedusha Zaguf is Paka B'chti, why when you marry a woman you say, today you're my wife, tomorrow you're not my wife, why do you need a get? If Kedusha Zaguf is Paka B'chti, according to Ula, and Ula we paskin like. We'll deal with that in Enoch Ben Sion. So now the Gemara transfers over to the first opinion of Bar Pada. Lema to heavy tiyuf to the Bar Pada. Here the Bryce is also a refutation of the opinion of Bar Pada. The Amar lo paka kedusha b'chti. That he says what? Even by kedusha's damim, right? Lo paka b'chti. When you cut down the sapling trees, right, you have to actually redeem it. We don't assume achi iksasu until they're cut down. We don't assume it dissolves by itself. We see, at least in this Bryce, it dissolves by itself. It goes automatically from korban ola to korban shlamim. Amar Rav Papa, Amar Papa, the Paro will answer you. Haki Kamar. This is what the Bryce meant to say. Imlomar ma'achshav shlamim la'achar shloshim yom ola heavy. Right? It means to say if he didn't say originally it's 30 days, right? The chiddush is after 30 days it's an ola. Meaning the chiddush is that I can imakdish an ola even though I'm saying in 30 days you'll have kedusha ola and not now. Now I'll have no kedusha. But in 30 days you'll have kedusha ola. I'm allowed to do that. It takes effect. Similarly, he said, "You said, oh woman, I don't want to be to you now. Right now, I want to have fun with my other friends, my other girlfriends. In 30 days, I'll get married to you. I'm kedushes to you. I'm joking around. Chas v'shal. I'm not gonna be sheevish guy. Charity guy say that. However, Elisha is kashli. You're allowed to joke around in life. Similar to a person, he's Makadish a woman. He says after 30 days it's chal, right? The Kiddushin is chal. Even though the money that he gave her right now, presently he's giving her the money and he's saying, with this money you Makadesh to me. And the money, she spends the money. she buys a Lululemon fanny pack. She bought it. Pshita, uh, Tamar says Pshita. Why does the price have to teach that? Obviously, we know from Kedushin work. Those Shricha, the Hadar Bay, where he says in 30 days it's going to be an Ola, and then within those 30 days he says, I don't want to give it an Ola anymore. So that makes sense according to when the Masakas Kedushin, if he makes that similar statement where she'll be Mekudesh to them after 30 days, she can't go back. Right, so then it makes sense. So according to Mandamar by Kedushin, you can actually retract the Kedushin. This probably says you can't retract it. Even about Kedushin, you could retract. When a carbon you can't retract. When I makdish something to Hashem, even though the Kedusha of Ola won't take effect until 30 days, it's like I already gave it over to the Gizbar of the Beis HaMikdash when I give Kedusha to something, so I give it value, right? Just like I give a woman, I give her money for the Kedusha, and I makdish the value of this carbon. So therefore I already gave it over to the Gizbar, and by a woman, right, I have to Makadish her, I have to establish a relationship with her. So I haven't established that relationship until 30 days, right? So the woman could retract, or the man can retract. However, when it comes to a korban, once you mock this shit, basically, which is giving the value to the gizbar, it's in the rishus of the gizbar anymore, the person who's responsible for hektish, for the Beis HaMikdash's funds, and you cannot retract anymore. That's why the difference over here. That's the conclusion of today's year. Stay tuned for Ian with Ben Sion, where we discuss, according to Ul, who we hold, right, that kedusha is paka bigti, right? It could just dissolve automatically. It seems to be that we would say the same thing even by marriage, but the Gemara seems, of course, by marriage it wouldn't work. You have to give a get. We'll try to resolve that question. Ian Ben Sion coming up next.